Hello, are we live? I think so. Sound check, sound check. All the bars are there. Yep, I'm live. Hello, how is everybody? Oh, I'm gonna have to get my glasses already. Can't ever tell if I need them or don't need them. Oh my God, getting old sucks. Hell, that doesn't help much. I'm just gonna have to squint, y'all. Hi, how is everybody? I am not in Texas right now. And that right there is the full blue moon. It's not actually blue. Blue moon comes from an old phrase from years and years ago, meaning rare. Anyway, a blue moon simply happens twice in October. Hasn't happened here on Earth in like 20 years. And I thought, this is cool. I just want to have a record of like, yeah, here's my Illuminati symbolism. Like, I am part of the Illuminati. Fear me. I've even got the all-seeing eye tattooed on my arm. So anyway, yeah, I'm not in Texas today. I'm in Pittsburgh. And I've never been to Pittsburgh before. And I came up here to take care of some business, which ultimately became an epic failure, but that's okay. It's Halloween. I've never spent Halloween in Pittsburgh, so why not? Not going out anywhere. There's nothing really to do. It got really... Oh, Wicca and Becker here. Nice. That's what I get for going live at a decent hour instead of 3 in the morning. My Whomping Willows show up. I'm so happy to see y'all. Yes, it's water. It's not coffee. It's not booze. Sober October has come to a glorious end for me. I did hurt my back this morning doing some exercises. I have no idea why. It was bothering me. Maybe it was from the plane ride. And then I was doing these push-ups and it popped my back and I could just barely walk. But hey, at least I'm sober. Other than that, I feel great. Starting tomorrow will be Sober November. And then comes Sober December, then Sober 2021, and then Sober until the day I die, which hopefully will be annoyingly long time from now for some people. And I'm going to live to be about 125 and still be around annoying people by spreading truth about nonviolent parenting and crapping on the current family court system. I'm so cheap. You just go to the ice machine and you fill it up, you let it melt, and you don't have to buy water because water's like $2 a bottle here. The freaking Uber ride from the airport to here is like 25 bucks, 10-minute ride. It's crazy. Shit's really expensive here. The room's not that bad, but I ate breakfast literally next door, right below the moon. It was like 25 bucks for an omelet. Okay, I got people texting me and I just can't get to that right now. So today's topic is going to be, okay, on the plane ride over here, I got a few notifications. Some people tagged me, sent me some links and said, "Hey, Caleb, you made it to the Think While You're Asleep show." It's a YouTube channel called Think While You're Asleep. And I'd never heard of him before. And I couldn't finish quite watching it in the airport because it's too noisy and you know how airports are. So I finished watching it and basically there's a link to it. I finally managed to fix my links. There's a link to it in the description. I watched it and it was like a lot of other people done. They downloaded the Parker movie, which, by the way, today being October 31st, the Parker movie just hit 31 million views. It's like crazy how that thing is still relevant. And it's a shame that it's still relevant, which only tells me, like I've said before, that the current family court system really hasn't changed that much, which is extremely unfortunate. I cannot wait until my channel is irrelevant. But anyway, I finished watching this YouTube video this fellow made. And like I said, basically what he did was he downloaded the Parker movie did highly edited, put some clips in there of me talking from a couple of other various videos, and gave his 2 cents on everything. And it was nice. I mean, his opinion on some of the things was, to me, spot on. Like with anything that involves a touchy situation, such as the Parker movie, I have to be careful what I say. There's certain aspects about his opinion that weren't wrong at all. His channel, I haven't watched. I watched the one he made about me, and then I watched a little bit of a couple of others. And basically, everything that he says on his channel is all scripted. He claims he watched 20 or 25 of my videos trying to find something on me. He claims to be fair and balanced. Maybe he is. I don't know. I don't know anything about the guy. But I didn't really see any significant surge in my channel. But the fair and balanced part was the part that kind of irked me. I understand why people want to give both sides of the stories, because 99.999 times out of 100, there's always another side to every story. Well, there always is, but generally most people tend to highly edit, which there's nothing wrong with editing itself. Hollywood is famous for editing movies, and they're great. My favorite show of all time, or movie of all time, is Harry Potter. Obviously, it's highly edited. If it wasn't, it wouldn't be Harry Potter. But when you're recording with your phone or with your personal camera for documentation of how things were in order to show people, editing is your worst enemy. And I'm not even saying his channel's bad. It's not that at all. But how do I say this? In his attempt to be fair and balanced and find, some dirt on me or whatever, it's actually kind of lame, if you ask me. His claim that he found dirt on me, the two things that I can remember was the Parker turned 17 video, where Parker is spitting tobacco into a cup or a bottle, and that seemed to upset him. And apparently I'm a lazy father, because I didn't take something the way that my child valued. And I thought, okay, I made it very clear, and he acknowledged this. I made it clear that I didn't approve, and I still don't approve of a 17-year-old doing tobacco, but he pointed out that I was openly filming a crime. And I was like, come on, man. Yeah, you got to do better than that. I mean, for Christ's sake, I've been open about being an alcoholic, or at least a recovering alcoholic, whatever you want to call that. To this day, alcohol still is, I have no desire ever to try it again. It's just, the thought of it just is awful. And then he later says in the end of the video something like, he puts a snapshot of one of my lives where I'm outside and I've got my white t-shirt on. It says, I found something. This guy, he did give me some compliments, a lot of compliments, staying somewhat professional. Okay, well, I guess I'm somewhat professional. And a few others, and I'll give him that, he did. But then the other one was, he said, I found this after I've already done editing, and this is not him talking. This is him putting a screenshot of things he typed out, that I don't have any close relationships, presumably outside of my children. This is a huge, gigantic red flag. And I was like, well, okay. I'm not out here putting myself out there like, hey, I'm single and blah, blah, blah. I'm not doing that. I acknowledge, and he acknowledged that I acknowledge that I'm weird. I'll give him that. But I don't know really what else to say about a gigantic red flag. Okay, I have been through the ringer. There's reasons I made my choices back in the day. I've acknowledged those. I was a fool to get married so young. I was even a bigger fool to make children with somebody that I was not compatible with. I made those, and I've already talked about this on some lives within the last month. I made some mistakes. I was taught certain religious values that I took very seriously, and I wound up making children with someone I wasn't compatible with. I don't know what else I can say. I fucked up. I mean, that's just, I can't unring that bell. Anyway, again, the one thing that I noticed was just his title. He titled it Abusive Mother Gets Sole Custody or something like that. Like I said, the link is in the description. And that was just to me, a red flag. Like, whoa, hang on. And so once I figured out what his channel was, there's not one single word in this guy's videos that is not intentional. Every single word that he decides to publish is intentional. And he's very thorough. He's very deliberate. But it seems in his attempt to be fair and balanced, he was, without saying it, and to use his words, with the untrained eye, attempting to, whether it's intentional or non-intentional, mislead his audience. And he's going to say, well, I inserted the clip. It said, the officer himself said, the mother has full custody. Okay, he did. There's a lot of people that say a lot of things in my videos that I'm filming them that are untrue, and I don't rebuttal them. Like almost never rebuke. I never say anything. I've talked about it later. And I don't expect him to watch every single one of my videos. I've talked about it in chats and on my various social media. I don't expect him to have read all of those either. But just for the record, Mr. Think While You're Asleep guy, that cop in Parker versus the Man was either lied to by someone else or grossly misinformed unintentionally, or just he didn't know what he's talking about. But not one time in the history of my life having children has any parent of any of my 4 children ever, not one time, had sole custody. And to his credit, he did say dad gets visitation. Okay, well, sole custody means one parent has 100% control of all time with that particular child or children. That's never happened. He did point out that I had to drive at 350 miles one direction from Odessa to San Antonio. I'll give him that. But I thought that alone, sole custody, you know, again, as soon as I saw the title of his channel, what he titled the video, the comments, I thought, this looks suspiciously like a MGTOW channel. And for those of you that don't know what MGTOW is, that's an acronym that I've talked about several times before for men going their own way. It's basically a hate group. That sounds harsh, but it's the truth. It's a hate group. It's usually almost exclusively consisted of a bunch of men who have been screwed over by women. I'm not saying that doesn't happen. And they are basically misogynists. That's the short version. And admittedly, for about a year in my life, at the most depressed time in my life, I was a MGTOW. I thought like that. I pretty much hated every single entire female human being except for my own daughter, London. And I was wrong to do so. At the time, I was kind of getting involved a little bit with MGTOW groups, and people were like, "Oh yeah, I saw your channel. It's great. You're sticking it to the men, and women do this and women do that." And as I began to heal myself, I began to realize that I was part of the problem. And that's why I do not consider myself, which again, I know I repeat myself a lot. I've said this before. I am not a father's rights activist. I work with father's rights people that call themselves that. I work with liberals. I work with conservatives. I work with anarchists. I work with lots of people that think differently than me. But I'm not a member exclusively to any of those groups. And my problem with the MGTOW people is unless you've been hiding under a rock, this is 2020 and I've never seen the world, not to mention this country itself, so divided. You know, races hating each other, genders hating each other, and, you know, blaming a particular problem all on one group, all on white people, all on gay people, all on mothers, all on deadbeat dads, all on Republicans. It's just not that cut and dry. And I think it's a really, really dangerous place to go when you start, again, whether we did it intentionally or not, leading people down that path. Because some of the biggest comments on his videos, and this isn't from him, this is from commenters. I bet the judge was a woman. I bet the judge was a woman. Sole custody. I bet that judge was a woman. Oh yeah, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. I'm like, oh, for Christ's sake. I mean, if you really, really watch 20 of my videos, you kind of know your audience. They're kind of already going to think and tend to think one way or another. I find it extremely hard to believe that this fella did not hear me bring up the various judges in my case, however you want to put it, the Parker case, the Blaine case, my life within the family court as a unit, because he did bring up Blaine. He did bring up Blaine getting committed to the Knicks. But he never said anything about judges, except it was, the way I look at it, the title, Abusive Mother Gets Sole Custody. You're talking about a parent. You're talking about child custody. Everybody knows that the vast majority of child cases goes through courts, and courts are ruled by judges. I find it at least somewhat disingenuous not to bring that up. How many times, if you've watched any of my lives or watched any of my other social media, have I brought up Judge Sarah Kate Billingsley? How many times have I brought up Judge Dan Whalen? How many times have I brought up Judge James L. Rex? I tend to bring up Judge Billingsley quite a bit more because Judge Billingsley is the one in 2017, July 21st, who granted me primary custody of my then 14-year-old son, Blaine. In the past, I've used the word, I got sole custody. Judge Billingsley gave me sole custody. That's a word miss. It's sometimes easier. It's like typing the letters U-R for your instead of Y-O-U-R. I've admittedly spoken made misspeaks, said the wrong thing. And it drives me bonkers about myself. I know I do it. I've probably done it here and didn't even catch it. I won't even catch it until if I go back and watch this. But the vast majority of his content, as far as video wise, was the Parker movie. Well, the Parker movie and Parker versus the Man. Judge Dan Whalen is the judge who took Parker away from me. It was not, and as much as I dislike Judge Dan Whalen, I have to be honest here. He didn't say it was kidnapping. We learned, that is my lawyers and me, while in court later, when I was, either the time I was arrested and put in jail in court, or the temporary hearing before that, I can't remember. We learned that Brad Miller, her attorney, tried to, or actually didn't try. He went to a grand jury to try to get kidnapping charges on a federal level, and the grand jury no-billed it. Basically, he said, "This is your evidence that this man you're saying kidnapped his own son?" No. So as much as I dislike Dan Whalen, the facts are the facts. I was not convicted of kidnapping. I was convicted on 6 counts of not kicking Parker out of my truck. From the Parker movie, when Parker drove away with me, or rode away with me as I was driving, 6 more times, Parker and I got in the truck, drove to pick up the kids for the weekend, left, had our fun for the weekend, went back to drop the little ones off, and Parker stayed in the truck and drove away. That happened 6 times. And every time I did not kick Parker out, that was another civil contempt of civil court that I was convicted. Judge Dan Whalen is a white male. At the time in 2013, when that happened, he was probably mid-50s, so I would say he's in his early 60s by now. When I was thrown in jail, that was done by a ruling by Judge James L. Rex of Andrews, Texas. He, at the time, was a retired judge. He apparently looked like he had a stroke or something, because he was hobbling up and couldn't move, and he was extremely rude. Everybody knows when you walk into a courtroom, you better, be on your best fucking behavior. The bailiff said, "All rise for the Honorable Judge Rex," and we all did, just like normal. And it's considered common courtesy. I assume, whether that's written anywhere, I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. But every time I've ever been to a courtroom, as soon as the judge comes in, regardless of what mood they're in, you may be seated. And you're supposed to wait until the judge seats you in his court. He didn't even seat us. He just got up and started reading. And I had, 2 or 3 people there with me. We're like looking at each other. Are we supposed to sit down? Anyway, we wound up just sitting on our own. But anyway, Judge Rex was a white male judge. Back then, he looked like he was in his early 60s. I would say he's probably pushing 70 by now, if he's even still alive. So I think that would have been kind of an important thing when you title something, "Abusive Mother Gets Sole Custody." You want to talk about the judge. And if you bring up Blaine, you almost certainly have seen me bring up Judge Sarah Kate Billingsley. And Judge Sarah Kate Billingsley is a woman. Judge Sarah Kate Billingsley coined the phrase, "Bring me these babies." The first time we ever set foot in her court, she made it very clear, "Mr. Leverett, I once worked with your father years ago on something to do with oil companies drilling on their land. Don't really know what came of it. Wouldn't know much, but we did. I did go out there, and I used to work out with Mrs. May's sister-in-law. That was many years ago. She made a joke about her own weight. She said, I'll leave it to y'all. If y'all want to have me, great. If not, then you're not going to hurt my feelings. We both agreed. Okay, Judge Billingsley can be our boss, our judge. We got through the process, and then she just said, bring me these babies. Court's going to be on July 21st. Bring me these babies. In other words, I want to see all the children. And she'd already joked about, at the time, Ector County had a nasty leak, and there's storms and it was leaking, and she was trying to get a new courtroom because there's this gigantic pillar right in the middle of where she sits, and she can't see the full audience, and it drives her bonkers. And she just jokingly, with a smile on her face, said, hashtag we need a new courtroom. And I just thought that was so funny. I'd never seen anybody do that before. Hashtag we need a new courtroom. And that's what, after that, she said, bring me these babies. I made a gigantic deal about it. Hashtag bring me these babies. And so anyway, I'm kind of getting off on a tear. But the point is, when I got Blaine, there was a continuation of the story that is completely the opposite of the title of this dude's video. Hey, where'd my moon go? Oh, there it is. It's rising on me. There we go. The entire point was, it was a woman, a female judge in her early 40s, that granted me primary custody of my then 14-year-old son, Blaine. And I would just like to be the first to point out, since a lot of people don't want to talk about this for whatever reason, I'm okay with talking about it. It's just so funny to me how women are the only creatures on earth that can see through other women's bullshit crocodile tears. And that is just a fact. Most men cannot do it. Most men are intimidated by women, particularly the drop dead gorgeous ones. So anyway, that's that. I think that would have been something you might have wanted included in your 20-something long minute video. So overall, Mr. Think While You Sleep guy, overall, you get a solid B, dude. A solid B. You know, tit for tat, the whole backhanded compliment thing. Nice job. I don't make those type of videos. There's a place for him, and I'm sure he's got an audience that likes it. And again, I hadn't watched any of his other videos. Not really my style type deal, but anyway, it is what it is. How y'all doing? We're into this 28 minutes. Have I successfully put everybody to sleep? Cassie went to jail. Okay, that's Wicca for being a good dad. That's right, I did. 100% and right, 100% accurate. Prison for Hillary C. Perfectly said, Wicca. Joshua Trial, we support you, Caperb. I assume you meant Caleb. That's a typo. Thank you. Omar Zawilla, Caleb, you never, in all caps, never deserve to be in jail because you were an example of a good parent. Well, thank you. I don't think I deserved it either. Did everyone have a good Halloween? That's, oops. From Lil Bruh. So far I am. Not going out. Caleb S. Caleb Leverett yawns. Sorry if I'm putting you to sleep, dude. Mama Bear, no. Love your talks. Thank you. Shanna Jackson. I'm a lady and I can do that. I like when I'm watch movies. I'll be mad because they're so fake. I assume you're talking about women seeing through crocodile tears from other women. Contralia Off-Road. Hi, man. What your son was going through a couple of years ago, I'm going through. Yikes. Finish watching my channel. Man, that sucks. That does suck. Quantum Ray 13. You should watch the Queen's Gambits. I saw that. I didn't watch the show. I saw the advertisement for it on Netflix. It was like #2 in the country right now. It looked interesting, to say the least. I don't have really any idea what it's about. Some chick wanted to be on some kind of team, and they're like, no, you're not ranked, so you can't be on the team. And But thanks, Quantum Ray 13. I'm going to look at it. I'm almost finished with the 100. I started watching the 100 a couple 3 years ago, and it kind of drug on by season 4 or 5. But I picked it up here recently in the last month, and I'm on the last season right now. I believe season 7, and then I am going to watch Queen's Gambit. Thank you very much. Shannon Wright. Good evening, Caleb. JJ Peterson. What's your opinion on the teachers violating the constitutional rights? Constitution rights. I've not seen. I'm not aware of. I assume you're talking about a particular story. Natalie Reese. You are a good parent, Caleb. Thank you. I hope I am. Someone got deleted. Rose Spiker says hello. More deletes. How are you doing? I'm doing well. I'm still sober and I'm loving it. Omar Zawilla, my teacher, Mr. Smith, told me that I will be a good father. Hold off on that, man. Don't know how old you are, but never get in a rush to be a father at all. You can live a perfectly happy life your entire life not becoming a father or a mother for that matter. Yes, the 100 is amazing from Natalie Ruiz. It is. It's getting really good. They cross these barriers that typically a lot of shows won't do, like with religion and the idea of the belief in authority. And it's kind of like revealing that the emperor wears no clothes. It's really interesting to me. Caleb S., is it normal to have M&Ms in a light bulb? I have no clue what you're talking about. Crown Caster videos. What's your opinion on defunding the police? That's a really hot topic. It borders on politics, but there was a time in my life where I absolutely hated all police. Still not very fond of them. I've talked about this a little bit, and I don't mind touching on it. I think in a true voluntary society, there is a way to police your neighborhoods on a local basis without using stolen money, taxes to pay them. There's a way to not incentivize cops to be assholes and harass people over holding one of God's plants, according to Genesis 1:29. I also acknowledge that where we are today, we're not going to get to a utopia ever, but if there was a utopia to get to, it's not going to happen overnight. And I use the phrase, you don't go from point A to point Z without first traveling through points B through Y. There's a process you got to go through, and whether we like it or not. I don't like it. I wished it wasn't that way, but that's how it is. So whether or not I support defunding the police is kind of irrelevant because it's not going to happen. I've made it a point, especially as I get older, let's face it, I've had a lot of bad shit happen to me involving cops enforcing shitty rules. Like when Blaine was arrested, I was in full blown fuck the police, ACAB, the whole 9 yards. I was so fucking mad. I was furious. Still, I don't know if I'm angry about it. I still have nightmares about it sometimes. I still would love to prosecute the San Antonio Police Department for being such douchebags towards me and my kids. I don't have it in me to fight it. I guess what I'm saying is I'm having to learn to pick my battles. The easiest, most effective way I know to get police to stop behaving like pricks is to, when I do see an officer doing the right thing, that I compliment them. Case in point, the Parker movie. 31 million views as of today, October 31st, 2020. Officers Brandon Spinks and Rocha, I think, were outstanding peace officers. So much so that I published their mailing address to their department in the description of the Parker movie so people could write letters to them thanking them. And my line of thinking there is, yes, I get it. They're trained with all the other cops. Yes, they've probably busted people for drugs and ruined their lives. I totally get all that. My point was, if enough people can show these officers of the court, officers of the state, when you behave badly, we're not going to say nice things about you. And when you actually do the right thing, we're going to compliment you. And much like with anything else, raising kids, training animals, working your way up in the company, when you compliment people, you give them praise on certain behaviors for good behavior, then they tend to, most people anyways, tend to want to continue doing that. And there's competition, like, oh shit, oh, George over there just got complimented for being a cool cop and doing the right thing. And well, that was really nice. I think I'll start doing that. I think I'll stop being a prick and pulling someone over for their goddamn freedom sticker being expired. And then, oh, now that I've got you pulled over, let me see if you've got any warrants. Oh, you didn't pay a ticket from 3 years ago. It's gone to warrant. Guess what, buddy? I'm going to ruin your day. You're going to get arrested and you're going to jail. You know, when you start shitting on that type of behavior, I think that, to me, that's where I'm going. If you want to do something else, obviously you're free to do whatever you want. That's the route I'm going. When I see any type of cop, state cop, local PD on the beat, feds, whatever, actually doing the right thing and really going after really bad guys, if that's all cops did was going after people that made a true crime, you'd probably never hear a word out of my mouth. Because I genuinely, at that point, would really not have anything to worry about, because I've never murdered anybody. I don't steal from people. I don't hit my kids. I've never hit my spouses, never raped anybody. You know, those big things that actually creates a victim. When cops go after those type of people, I don't really have any problem with that. I'm sure. Well, I could just beat that dead horse to have, what's the word? Beating a dead horse. Sorry, how are you doing, Wicker Rose? Quantum Ray, I was suspended for being gay. Is that normal or am I crazy? Suspended for being gay? No, that's not normal. I guess if you assaulted somebody in an inappropriate way, maybe, or that would be, but Clasinal, most cops are good. That's, in my opinion, that's taking a little far. There's a lot of psychology behind that. I would say some cops do good things, and when I find more of those, I'm going to point them out. I'll give you an example. A couple weeks ago, I was driving around in Houston, and there's this stretch of road that crosses I-45. And it's one of those like 4 or 5 lane highways, divided highways. The speed limit's 50. There's stretches, you know, where there's a lot of congestion, and then there's like 5 miles. It's just nothing, but it's still 50. And everybody goes 60. Everybody goes 60. I was driving along about 60. I was doing about 55. And everyone else is going about the same. This cop passes me doing about 60. I just think, oh, okay, he's just slightly passing. I didn't think anything about it. Yes, I was speeding. And then he puts his blinker on, gets in front of me. And the person behind him, I guess, just assumed, well, if that cop's going 60, then he doesn't mind breaking the law. I guess I'll do 63, 65. So he speeds up and passes the cop. And I thought, what an idiot, dude. You're just asking for it. You're literally like saying, hey, screw you, I'm gonna come pull me over. And sure enough, the cop lit him up. I thought, you're begging for it. And so he lit him up. And so the guy puts on his brakes, he starts to pull over. Well, the cop just, as soon as he slowed down, the cop just put his blinker on, got in the left lane, put his cruise back on 60. I sped up to 60. And he's like, being what it is, he was being really pretty cool. He could have given any of us he was speeding too. He could have given any of us a ticket. He could have just been out for blood and wanted the money from people, like a lot of cops do. A lot of sitting cops do that. Those aren't good people. Those are the extortionists. Those people, those are road pirates. They're stealing money. You know, that cop, it was something so simple. He's like, dude, I get it. Everybody's going 60. It's not that big a deal, but going 70, 80 and a 50. I'm just saying, slow down. Don't be a douche, because obviously there's congestion coming up. There's going to be people turning, but he didn't even pull him over. He just lit him up for a second, got out of his way, and said, basically saying, just don't be a douchebag. Just slow down a little bit. I think that's cool. I mean, even if cops weren't paid by tax dollars and there was private security, there's nothing wrong with someone, patrolling certain areas, making sure that someone isn't being 100% reckless, putting people excessively in danger. I don't have a problem with that. And a lot of my anarchist friends are going to hate on me for that, but libertarians, they hate on each other for anything anyway. So my libertarian friends, y'all can kiss my rosy red ass right where it's hairy. Let's see. Happy Halloween from Anya Litka, and you're rude. Laughy face. I'm rude? I don't try to be rude. Shannon Galucci, happy Halloween. Pedro Gutierrez Garcia, you're gay. He left out the apostrophe and an E. I want to check on that. Shannon Jackson, sorry, off topic, but the National Guard are in PA, Pennsylvania, where I live, because of the black guy shooting incident. Another one? I'm not aware of that. I haven't been looking online a whole lot. I have seen that a lot of, in Texas, I think Governor Abbott is sending National Guard to certain big cities. And I'll be the first to admit, 2020 right now, before this election, for the young people watching this, y'all won't know what I'm talking about, but Miss Mary and Wicca, I'm not sure how old you are, but Becca, y'all are about my age. Does this not feel like Y2K? Like the month or two leading up to December 31st, 1999? Like nothing happened, but everybody was like really on pins and needles, because the rumors were that the power's going to go out, the computers won't know what to do, and it changes years, and everybody's like real scared. And modern day times, everybody hoards toilet paper. Back then, they were hoarding other things, but it just feels really strange right now. And Anya Litka, thanks to the person who deleted his message. Okay, I guess you're talking to someone else. Anarchy and cops who have red flags on sex are going crazy. It's true. Cops who have a red flag on sex are going crazy. I'm not sure what you're talking about there. Quantum Ray 13. Caleb, to be 100% honest, I would love to be a sheriff when I'm older, but I constantly get told it's a bad idea because I'm gay and because of the racist bullshit that is happening right now. What's your, it cuts off. I assume you mean, what's your opinion? There is a group called the Constitutional Sheriff's Association, I believe, or maybe it's something close to that. It's founded by a guy, former sheriff named Richard Mack. I hired Richard Mack to come speak at an event that I put on, my buddy Ben Farmer and I, called Liberty Fest West back in 2013. Constitutional Sheriffs and Peace Officers Association, I believe. Basically, it is the sheriff. What their shtick is the sheriff of any county is an elected official from only the citizens of that county. The idea being it's local, it's not influenced by outsiders. Only people who live within that county can elect this guy. And he, like all other peace officers, cops, take a vow or a pledge to uphold the Constitution of the United States. Basically, what they're saying is if this guy is the sheriff of this county, he's solely there for the people of that county. Anybody from outside of that, state police, feds, even beyond that, if they come into his jurisdiction, he basically, especially if they're going to violate someone's constitutional rights, he's going to say, I don't give a shit who you are. I'm the sheriff of this county, and you are not going to harm the citizens of my county. They're not, they've not harmed anybody. You're violating their constitutional rights. I will arrest you. I don't care what your badge says. I can get behind that. Unfortunately, groups like that, just like any big groups, get corrupted. Life's going to always be a struggle, but I guess what I'm saying, if you are, let's say, Quantum Ray 13, you were gay, wanted to be a cop or a sheriff, I don't know why being gay would, unless you're in a homophobic area, let's admit it, let's just face it, there's a lot of homophobes in the United States or in the world for that matter, but I'd just be careful. It's hard to say one way or another. I'm not going to say, go, 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 go. If you think you could do some good, if you know your people, like if you're from this place, your family knows, you just know people and you have a good heart and you truly want to protect people, kind of like the old Andy Griffith days in Mayberry, compared to what we have now, I think that'd be great. Guys tired of the COVID, or guys who is tired of the COVID? I think we all are. Wick's 36. Okay. Now you're old enough then. You're 16, but you're old enough to remember it. Quantum Ray 13, I live in Canada's capital. I don't even know what the capital of Canada is. That's me showing my ignorance. From Hato. Caleb, how's it going? It's going great. I'm still sober. And just living it up in Pittsburgh at the moment. My plans went completely to shit, and in the old days that would have just completely thrown me off and maybe stuck a monkey wrench in my system, but I've learned to just go with it. Taylor Bradford, England is going into lockdown. Oof, I saw that. I don't know what the solution to that is. I think it's a terrible, terrible, terrible idea to lock down over something. It's hard to talk about the C word, and I don't mean see you next Tuesday. I mean the other one, the big scary virus that everybody's all scared about. I think it's ridiculous, and I think starving people out and making them go homeless, lose their homes, and go broke is far worse than any disease. And by the way, there's always going to be diseases. There's always going to be bad, nasty things that could hurt, kill, make you sick. It's always going to be there. It's always been there my entire life, but nobody ever locked us down. You got sick, you went home. You weren't feeling good, you went home. You threw up in class, you went home. And when you got done, then you came back to school, then you went back to work. There's always going to be sick people. I don't care what anyone says. It's not that I'm not saying there's nothing out there that's making people sick. It's not that at all. But it's not like The Walking Dead, where if a zombie bites you, then that's it. There's no recovering. It's got a 99 or 100% kill like The Walking Dead. It's not like that. If it was like that, like if there really was a disease like that, I don't guess it would matter if the government locked things down or not, because it's going to be chaos either way. So preemptively locking things down because something might get bad is like arresting people because they might commit a crime in the future. That's called a thought crime, and that is dangerous, extremely dangerous. Shannon Jackson, yeah, his name is Walter Wallace. He had a mental issue, and 2 white police killed him in front of his mother. His mother only wanted the ambulance to come For his moment, he only had a butter knife. I think I glanced over it. I haven't seen the full story. I can relate. I literally called for an ambulance for Blaine back in June of 2017 when he was in San Antonio. I was 350 miles away in Odessa. I literally called for an ambulance for Blaine, specifically said, I need an ambulance. And they specifically did not send an ambulance. They sent cops who wound up throwing him in the Knicks. So without knowing this full story, I can, and just going by what Shannon has said here, I can certainly sympathize with the mother in this case, and particularly the deceased. Anyway, Anya Litka, you're welcome. Okay, you're talking about Wicca. Ari Sianic M. Do you believe the after effects of COVID on brain? I don't know anything about that. Some diseases can affect the brain. I watch House a lot. Does that count? Caleb, what was the name of the place with the $25 omelet prison for Hillary C? It's called, what is it called? Bob Evans. It's a local mom and pop place. I'm not shitting on Bob Evans. It's just expensive. Koa Tran, I'm Aussie. COVID-19 equals 9/11. Same fingerprints. Anyone agree? Nice conspiracy theories. I don't know. I do know that 9/11 was an inside job. My condolences, Quantum Ray 13. Where can I get one of those shirts? I used to have a Spreadshirt website. It's still up. I haven't promoted it in years. It might still be available. I'd have to find the link. It's like Caleb Leverett shop /Caleb or something like that. If I remember to, I'll try to put a link in the description. But yeah, this was actually designed by London. I was trying to come up with some kind of logo, and I had all kinds of weird, crazy ideas. She said, Daddy, watch this. And she took out a pen and pad. She drew out an iPhone, and she designed that, put the little, thunderstruck looking AC/DC thunderbolts there. And this is courtesy of London. So I don't know if I can find it. I'll certainly put the link there. I assume it's one of those websites where they print on demand. They don't stock anything. They just print on demand. So I'll try to remember to put a link in the description. Roxy, happy Halloween. And Nikolaya, Faye, seriously, first responders of Michigan. There's always bad apples. There are. And there's a lot of them, unfortunately. Heather Chanik, pandemic, my ass. How about the plexiglass in front of the cashiers? Isn't that cute? That is the cutest thing. They put these cute little plexiglass things, and the cashier just picks up your groceries and scans them and puts them in the bag, takes your money, makes your change, gives it back to you, hands you your groceries. By God, thank the good lords, thank the gods above. If it wasn't for that fucking plexiglass, we'd all be walking zombies. Vortex 1, I had no idea. Coatran, I'm nearly 40 years old. Don't want to sound conspiratory, but it looks to me it took me years to recognize 9/11's truth. With COVID-19, only took a few months. Yeah, it took me a couple weeks at least. At first, I was caught in the field in West Texas. Actually, I was in southeastern New Mexico, and it really got bad. I was like just listening to the news, like, what the hell? But then I realized the news media is full of shit most of the time, and they give a bunch of half-truths. And Awesome KM AC/DC just put out a new album. I saw that. How can they do that with, what was it, Malcolm's dead, I think? I mean, it's kind of like Leonard Skinner putting out new stuff when I think there's only one surviving member. I assume that means Caleb is wonderful. I assume that meant Caleb. Taylor Bradford. Trying to get a bus in England is funny. We give them money and they grab it from us, but a face mask will solve the touching problem. A face mask will solve the touching problem. Oh, yeah. Okay. That's what you mean. Yeah. Yeah. Those. If a mask makes you feel safe and secure, by all means, wear one. And I'm not being facetious. Seriously, if it makes you feel better, go right ahead. But talking to your Congress critters to pass laws to enforce, to put people in jail for not wearing the mask because you don't feel comfortable with them, if you're that fucking scared to go out, then just stay home. If you're really that scared by what the big black box in the middle of your living room or your little phone is telling you right here, all the news and crap you're getting, if that scares you that much, just stay home. It's really that simple. If you can stay home indefinitely, not starve and pay all your bills and everything's peachy keen, you got perfect mental health and be able to do it. If you can actually do that, go for it, man. The rest of us live in the real world and we're not as privileged, and we have no choice but to go to work. We have no choice but to take care of our kids. We have no choice but to go to the grocery store. We have no choice but to pay our bills. We have no choice but to run errands. We have no choice but to get out in the world and take risks. And let's just face it, life is risky. There's always going to be something to scare you. Sometimes they wear uniforms. Sometimes they wear suits, and they call them politicians. And they tend to scare people. Vortex 1, Wolverine, I believe. The saying is you don't realize what you have until you lose it. Yeah. Taylor Bradford, we all breathe the same air. Face masks are just uncomfortable. Yeah, they are. I've carried a face mask with me for my entire career as a field mechanic. And when I put the mask on, because I'm doing a job that creates a lot of dust or smoke, just as soon as I'm done, my whole 25-year career, when I'm done and I don't need more, I take it off because I simply can't breathe very long. It makes it really, really tough to drive around in your own car preemptively by yourself in your own car. And you see these people with these masks driving in their car, their face shield, and their gloves. And I see that, I just assume they're wearing a condom too, because they just might need it. That's just so silly to me. And again, if that's your thing, you want to do it, go right ahead. Just please don't be a douchebag and force everybody else to conform to you what your idea of keeping the world safe is. Wolverine, I believe this. Okay, I already saw that. Oh, I'm behind again. Bram Master FN, how do you think COVID started? I have no clue. A bat, a lab. I have no idea. I'm not even convinced that it's not the flu, really, to be honest with you. Oh, Caleb, how can you say that? You've got this, you got that, you get this, and like that. You know, it's just so funny to me how nobody's getting the flu anymore. Where'd all the flu? When I was a kid, my whole life, there's always been flu season. And now suddenly the flu's just eradicated. Well, you never know. You might be a carrier, you might be sick, and you won't even know it. Okay, well, so might you. If you think you might be sick, not showing symptoms, but you think you might, just stay home. Just stay home for the rest of your life and never leave your house, ever, for any reason, no excuse. And you ought to be just fine. It's kind of funny. I went to the airport, and obviously if you want to fly, you have no choice. You will wear a mask or they will kick you off. They won't even let you on the plane. That's just how it is. It's ridiculous. Much as I hate it, it's dumb. But you know, when you're showing your ID, they say, "Can you pull down your mask, please?" I thought about saying, "I can't. I might get sick. There's a reason we're all wearing these, right?" But I just thought, I caved. I just said, "It's really me. God Almighty, hope I don't get sick. If I do, it's going to be your fault." Put it back on. Quantum Ray 13, by the way, Do you still need a watermark? Because I remember you talking about that in the Umbrella Academy stream. Now that you mention it, I don't know why I didn't think of this. I've got this already. What was I thinking? I'll just use this as my watermark. I got some people. Thanks, by the way, for the people that submitted. I got sidetracked. I'll be honest with you. I completely forgot about that. At one time, my pea brain thought that I need to put this out there. I need a watermark. So I guess to answer your question, I'll make the executive decision on my own channel. This is now my new watermark. I just got to figure out how to get it into the right pixel size and get it put up on my videos. Vortex, you're good. Don't worry. Okay, you are talking to each other. Oh man, Wolverine for my Coda Bear DCL. Vortex Yao was. What does that have to do with my question? I made that quote because it's different. You can lose a lot and not realize until it's gone, but to lose the last of what you had, this is my quote. Okay, sorry, it's hard for me to go back and forth when y'all are talking to each other. Taylor Bradford, everyone are just sissies. Look at the coal miners. They were happy and want to get back down there, but in 2020, we're scared of a cold. I assume you're talking about the COVID stuff. Not the cold. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah. What is your favorite food? Mine is barbecue, sushi, or Mexican. Shannon Jackson, the same thing happened to my mom when me and the family went to Florida for my birthday on the 17th, and the lady was like, okay, you can just go. I just wanted to laugh so hard. I assume you're talking about the mask thing. Yeah. I mean, if it's that dangerous that I don't have this muzzle over me, how much more danger am I in if I pull it down? I've got my mask on. Okay. Caleb's safe. Look at him. Pull your mask downstairs and make sure your ID matches your face. Oh, shit. I'm all infected. I'm going to die. It's that silly to me. Prison for Hillary C. Sorry for the start of the question. I don't mean about a certain political person. Caleb and chat, what do you think will happen after the election is over? Will mass fever die down? Same or more? God, I hope so. If I was told that candidate A or candidate B, one or the other, this one was going to make the stupid mask hysteria go away, that's who I'd pick. That's literally how silly this election has gotten to me. I don't care who wins the presidency. It's not going to affect me any more adversely than the system has already affected me. I feel cops should never force us to pull our masks down. From Omar Zawilla. Okay. I'm not a masker. It depends on why a cop would even be talking to you in the first place. If you're minding your own business, not harming anybody, what business do they have even talking to you, asking you to do anything, much less pull a mask down, put a mask up, jump down, turn around, pick a bale of cotton? No politics unless it's about Ken Paxton. Yeah, Paxton for prison. Giselle Acevedo. Oh, snap, I just saw the infamous video. The Parker video? Well, Giselle Acevedo, welcome to my channel. Shuk Al-Shari, me too. Cool, we got some new people here. This is nice. Quantum Way 13, no politics unless it's about, okay, that's y'all. Yes, Tupac Quantum, love him. Okay, we're talking to each other. Taylor Bradford, cops piss me off when they feel like they are above the law and are pricks about it. Yep, that's kind of universal. Whether they have a magic badge or not, pricks that just think they're better than everybody else and bully people around, I don't like them. The one with your son, Giselle, I've got 3 sons, and I've got What in the fuck is that? I just delete that. I don't know what that is. I've never seen such weird characters in the comment section. Can I see the moon? Yeah. Let's see. It's rising. There it is. It's still there. The blue moon is beautiful. Angel, he had the moon up, and in the beginning it moved. Yeah, Enya, the Irish singer. Yes, I love Enya. I love Enya. I would marry Enya and live with her and her cats in her castle. Awesome, KM. LOL. Sorry, Caleb. He asked if you like Tupac. Yeah, I admire Tupac. I admittedly don't know as much as I probably should about Tupac. He died in what, early mid 90s. Dude was only like 26. He was kind of a revolutionary amongst revolutionaries. I like the guy. He's got this song called "Dear Mama." I've always liked that one. Who likes Jersey Shore? Not me. Do you consider cops sovereign citizens? Quantum Ray 13. I consider all human beings sovereign citizens. You own yourself. I own myself. The idea of authority is crazy, but I acknowledge it's there. I don't think they've got the badges grant extra rights, if that's what you're saying, because they don't. Some people, and cops in particular, act like they do, act like it does, but no, badges don't grant extra rights. They may be qualified to do certain things, such as carry a gun on an airplane, depending on what level. That gets a little too political. But Hale Bradford just shot floating about. Angel Baez, do you like to play Fortnite? Or you don't play? Nope, I'm not a gamer. My boys are, but I'm not. Okay, will y'all please? I'll just do it myself. Jesus Christ. Bye, dude. I don't know what that is. What are your favorite bands? Enya. I like old school Kid Rock, old school Run DMC. New Kid Rock sucks ass. I like Harry Connick Jr. Blue Light, Red Light is my favorite album of his. Yeah, shot and killed in his car as he was an inspirational guy, but he's in a better place now. Shannon, I'm not sure exactly. You talking about that same dude? My favorite song by Tupac is Ghetto Gospel featuring Elton John. He sang with Elton John? Really? I didn't know that. I couldn't see it. Sorry. Yeah, I'm not mad, but I didn't know it. It's just like these funny characters. Instead of one or two lines, it just takes up like almost the whole page. I don't know what it is. That person just kept typing it. Michelle Baker, can we talk politics? If they're allowing Ken Paxton, need to allow everyone. I, for one, believe politics don't belong on social media. However, your approach is wrong. Okay, tell me how I'm wrong. Are you an Aryan? Oh, an Aryan. No, are you an Ariana Grande fan? She's. I don't dislike Ariana Grande. She's just so much. She's a generation behind me, or maybe two. She's like really young, like early 20s. I'm just too old. I'm not saying again that I dislike her. I don't know anything about her. I know she's really, really popular. Script hacking Caleb sounds like. Oh, that fella. The Tupac movie, All Eyes on Me, was more modern than the real death of Tupac. I need to watch that. I just now watched 8 Mile for the first time, like, I don't know, a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago. Heather Chenick, Caleb, I see that you are a cat person, and I'm pretty sure I'm becoming a cat person or becoming the crazy cat lady. Cat since good people. I am a cat person. I love kitties. Kitties are my favorite, probably my favorite animal. They're so unpredictable. They're batshit crazy. They don't mind showing you their balloon knot and rubbing it in your face and then just getting wigged out. They're crazy. If a human acted like that, I'd avoid them like the plague. Lisa Yarbrough, hey, Caleb Leverett, I love your channel and have been here since the Parker video started, and you're an amazing dad. Thank you. Thank you for that. I do appreciate that. Brooke Vickery, are you Parker's dad? I am. And I'm Hayden's dad, and I'm Blaine's dad, and I'm London's dad. Michelle Baker, the Biggie movie is really good. It's called Notorious. Well, obviously, I've got to see that one. Notorious for Notorious. Brooke, seriously, Drake's the king. Drake is one of those guys. I know he's like gigantic, and he's probably my age, maybe a little bit younger. I just don't know anything about him. Eminem's the king. I like old school Eminem. I just do. I've always liked Eminem. He's batshit crazy like the rest of us. But what happened to? Let's see. What happened to anger? Nicholas Longton. What happened to anger issued son? What happened to anger issued son? I don't know what that means. Taylor Bradford, doesn't Eminem stand for something like every other mother is nice except mine? Probably not, but I know he's got some serious mama issues. Shannon Jackson, what's your favorite Halloween movie? 14-year-old Parker stands up for his rights. It'll scare the hell out of you. Kidding. I don't know. I don't really like gore, like gory stuff. There's a movie. It's not exactly a Halloween, but there's a TV show on Netflix called Lock and Key. That they've only made one season or two. I think just one season, but it is really, really good. I like it. Did you watch 007? Was it one of your favorite shows? When I was a kid, yeah. Oh, yeah, Sean Connery, rest in peace. Died at the ripe old age of 90 and is asleep in the Bahamas. Yeah, that was not a shocker because, I mean, let's face it, the dude was 90 and he lived a pretty kick-ass life. Him or Roger Moore, those are the two big 007s when I was a kid. I loved watching them. The last Sean Connery movie, this is what made me feel old when I read about that this morning, is okay, that Santa Unga, I don't have, just fucking delete that dude. I don't even know what that means. It was Medicine Man. And that really made me feel, because I think that came out in the late 90s. And I remember when it came out, I was like, what the hell? This looks great. This looks bad. It's Sean Connery, and he's this doctor that found the plague of the 21st century, and I've lost it. Come to find out, I think it was a dud. It flopped. But anyway, yeah, rest in peace, Sean Connery. Infinite Taser Blade, subscribe to my channel. I can't subscribe from here. Nicholas Longton, just got done watching Parker stand up to Mom. I'm 14, almost 15. Know where he's coming from. Oh, yeah. Watch Parker versus the Man next. That's the next one in line. And when you're done with that, Caleb gets his phone back from Parker's mom, and then Parker's 70th birthday. Then move on to the Blaine series. I did make a clickable link in my YouTube channel for the entire Blaine series. Shannon Jackson, Caleb, have you ever tried to rap the rap god fast rap? It's just me. I can't do it. I don't know all the lyrics. I know people that can. There's a famous YouTube video about 3 or 4 years ago of a local TV reporter named Kim Powell that stood in front of a store there in Odessa It's next door to a restaurant that I ate at all the time, and she did it. She didn't know the camera's rolling, but she always does rap songs to do a warm up. And her cameraman was used to her doing it, so he just decided to push record one day. And so she does. No, it wasn't rap. It wasn't Rap God. It was no, it was the alphabet one where he's singing A all the way through Z. She wound up going viral. I think she made it to the Ellen show. It's kind of cool. Kristen K, Cheryl. Hey, what's up? Kristen from Kentucky. Oh shit, I'm into this an hour and 15 minutes. I've completely lost track of time. Well, kids, I did not realize going in. I was in this. So, it's 9:30, which means to me it feels like 8:30. But then we're setting the clocks back tonight, so I'm just going back to 8:30. I don't know. My battery's not dead because I'm inside the hotel and I've been plugged in, but I think I might be putting everybody else to sleep. I think you were talking about the alphabet aerobics. Yeah, that's it. Taylor Bradford. It's almost 11. Oh. Oh, okay. I'm looking at the clock on my computer. Okay, my computer says 9:37. Okay, yeah, that one says 10:37. The phone updates, but the clock doesn't. Anyway, it's late. Y'all need to go do some trick or treating. Y'all, yeah, I'm not going to talk about that. All the Parker stuffs. See the pin comment. All the Parker stuff is on my channel. Have a great night, Kayla. Y'all, thanks so much. Enjoyed it. Again, I wasn't necessarily shitting on the YouTube channel. Think while you're asleep. Kind of a tit for tat thing. If you want to, well, it is what it is. The link, if y'all want to watch it, I put the link in the description. So anyway, y'all take care. Thanks. And a big, big thanks to my Whomping Willows. Y'all save me so much. I do appreciate it. Y'all take care. Please do not hit your cheer-ins.